think that it's going to happen to you. You never think that it's going to happen this close.
A deadly rampage. What one woman says she saw in the chaos as a man opened fire, killing one person and injuring several others. And a shooting investigation. New details on the deadly incident involving state police near Socorro coming up. Plus, at least one person killed in Albuquerque. What witnesses say they saw and what police are revealing about their investigation this morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
And I'm Kristen Curry. Thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day.
Beautiful Memorial Day weekend out there. I'm hoping that weather continues into today. We got a lot happening outside.
Yeah, for most of us, there's nothing to worry about, but we do have a handful of storms expected this afternoon in some parts of our state. So let's get down to it. A live look out at the San Gato Cristo Mountains. A gorgeous start to our day. Most of us waking up with a full sky of sunshine. Temperatures this morning in the 30s and 40s. Our hourly forecast puts us back into the 80s this afternoon. With those afternoon numbers we had yesterday, it's almost the same kind of day today, with the possibility of those strong to severe storms firing up near the eastern state line once again. So that's pretty much going to be our main focus today, those stronger storms out across the plains. But our rain chances going up. Beginning tomorrow, we'll see more showers and storms. Wednesday looking to be a very active day here in New Mexico as the cold front brings in more moisture, cooler temps, and more wind through midweek. I'll break down everything you need to know, including your full Memorial Day forecast coming up here in about 10 minutes.
All right, Kristen, we'll see you then. Developing this morning, police are investigating after a person was found dead in southwest Albuquerque. APD is not saying much, but we do know that police were called out to that neighborhood near 98th Street and Sage at about 5:30 yesterday. And that's where they say they found one person dead inside a home. Neighbors say before officers got there, they heard a lot of commotion and then gunshots.
It was scary because especially when I go nosy to see what's going on.
Despite what witnesses heard, APD has not said how the victim died, but they do say they suspect there are more victims involved. They would not say why they think that, but earlier one witness says that she was driving down the street when she saw a man run out of a home in handcuffs and several other people following him.
He was in a hurry. That's why they kept my attention, because almost we hit him with a car. They running. He was running. I don't know if it was a wife or it was a girlfriend, but they behind him, and the lady holding a baby on her arms.
That woman also says she later saw a second man in handcuffs speaking to officers. APD said it could not confirm that woman's story, and they also would not say if anybody was actually taken into custody. 3 Albuquerque officers are on paid leave this morning after being involved in the shooting death of a man who they say was armed.
He made numerous threats to use that weapon against officers.
Police say just after 9:30 on Saturday night, they got a call about a man drunk with a gun at a home on Goodrich Avenue near Morningside in Montgomery. APD says Dennis Humphrey was making threats against officers. They say the officers, all trained in crisis intervention, tried to negotiate with Humphrey for 30 minutes, and suddenly they say he went to his garage and turned off the lights. So officers shined a light inside themselves. They say that Humphrey was pointing a gun right at them.
At that time, the officer was in fear for his life and the other officers around him, and he took appropriate action to stop his action, and shots were fired.
Medics were called, but police say Humphrey died early the next morning. Details about what led up to 2 state police officers opening fire and killing a man on Thursday on I-25 remains under investigation. We do know that man's name this morning. He is Angel Daniel Navarro, who was shot and killed. 25 years old, police say, and from San Diego, California. Police say they suspect the SUV that he was in was stolen. It stopped in the middle of the southbound lanes near Socorro after a 12-mile chase. Time is 6:04. 131 passengers are back on the ground today after an Albuquerque-bound Southwest Airlines flight was forced to make an emergency landing. Phoenix airport officials say Flight 1271 left Los Angeles bound for Albuquerque, but stopped at Phoenix Sky Harbor because of what's being described as suspicious behavior and 2 passengers interfering with the flight crew. Phoenix police did question 2 people, but they were let go. After a sweep of the plane, no threat was found. Authorities say it did land in Albuquerque safely eventually. Happening today, New Mexicans will take the time to honor our fallen servicemen and women on this Memorial Day. In Albuquerque, a concert is scheduled to get underway this morning. musical ceremony this morning starting at 9 at the New Mexico Veterans Memorial. Then at 10 o'clock, official ceremony will begin. New Mexico Secretary of the Department of Veterans Services will be there. They will speak. And then at 1 o'clock, a barbecue will be held at the Veterans Integration Center in Old Town. The annual Memorial Day concert is scheduled to kick off at 2 and run until 4. Then in Santa Fe, a ceremony to honor servicemen and women who died in combat will be held at the Santa Fe National Cemetery. Governor Susana Martinez is scheduled to be at Angel Fire, delivering remarks at the Vietnam Veterans State Memorial Park there. If you are looking for ways to honor our nation's fallen in Rio Rancho today, you can check out this year's parade starting at 10 this morning. That's heading east from Country Club Drive down Southern Boulevard, and it will end at Veterans Monument Park. That's on Pine Tree Road, right next to Esther Bone Memorial Library. And after that, a memorial ceremony featuring several different speakers is scheduled to begin at 11. Here's a heads up too. If you take the bus usually on Monday morning, you're hoping to grab maybe a ride on the New Mexico Rail Runner today, you need to know that both ABQ Ride and the Rail Runner will not be running on Memorial Day. Sunvan Service, which provides transportation for the disabled and impaired, will also not be running. Bus service is expected to return to normal tomorrow, so in time for your Tuesday. But for more information on Memorial Day closures and events, we posted a link on the homepage on the KRQE News app. Happening today, Democratic presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders will be in California in advance of the state's primary next Tuesday. Pardon me. Yesterday, presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump focused on the military and veterans while speaking at the annual Rolling Thunder event in Washington, D.C. That event was calm, and it was absent of the protests, which have become increasingly common at Trump's speeches, including in Albuquerque. Sanders said yesterday that California is an important state to win as he tries to catch up to Hillary Clinton's substantial lead in the delegate count in the Democratic race. Meantime, former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson is waking up as the Libertarian Party's official presidential nominee. Johnson clinched the nomination on the second round of voting yesterday with 55.8% of the vote. Johnson, who was also the party's 2012 nominee, said he stands a chance of breaking through this year, given the unpopular offerings from the Democratic and Republican parties.
This is another voice at the table. It's arguably combining the best of what it is to be a Democrat and the best of what it is to be a Republican, neither of which actually do very well at what they're supposed to be good at.
The Libertarian Party is the only third party with ballot access in all 50 states. Happening right now, police are investigating a shooting rampage in a Houston neighborhood that left one man dead and several others injured, including 2 police officers. Police say a man opened fire at an auto detail shop and then on passengers in cars driving by yesterday. One witness says she was driving by when the gunfire started. She said that a woman ran up to her car saying that someone had shot another man inside the shop. That's when she says she saw the gunman for herself.
He was shooting, and that's all you hear is pop, pop. That's all you smell. And so I took off.
That'd be terrifying. That's when she noticed that the same gunman had his gun trained on her. She was able to get away. A SWAT officer killed the suspect 1 hour after that shooting began. No word this morning on the motive of the shooter. Travelers going through one of the nation's largest airports today can expect some big delays. A server crashed at New York's John F. Kennedy Airport yesterday and stalled operations in one of the big terminals. At the delay's peak, about 1,500 customers were waiting to be checked in. Airlines were still checking people in manually early this morning. They say that passengers, if you're headed there or you know have a relative that's passing through, you're expected to have further delays and expect large crowds too heading to that airport today.